Big up every hustler, bigging up every farmer. Them ready and now fi fly the gate for medical marijuana. Look for when if you legalize and the wrong plant them a penalize. Check if they want the best, we have it on ya. Marijuana value more than oil. Yeah man, that's why we keep it boom shot every time you see it.
Oh man.
Wicked.
Watch out, boom shot. You tell him say there is a make the weight and murmur now. So this one is short shot. It can't stop. Boom shot.
Boom shots.
When we were upstairs talking to Rebel, we were talking about, you know, things are not always a smooth path, but he was just telling us how hard it has been actually to have, although Rebel Salute has been actually one of the most successful artist shows. You always see artists on stage shows, but Rebel Salute is a show that is put on by artists and the artist picks the other artists and lineup. We're just talking about why there isn't enough of that, and he has explained through from the beginning how it happened to where you are now. And you know, obviously there are dips. And there's dips in careers for everybody in life. Something I want to ask you, if you don't mind me asking, I was really looking forward to seeing you in New York, and you ended up not performing. We always hear about what the reasons are and why they are. What was the reason on your part?
I think the reason on I was there actually. I didn't go down to the venue because I was told not to come there because a lot of people had left and the show had literally been dismantled because people were upset. But the reason for the show being the way it was, I think, was the fact that, as you rightly said earlier, we live in a world where people have differences of opinions and differences of views and the way they would want it to play out to suit their situation. I think in this case, where that issue came up, as in the gay issue, because we never hide away from a topic, we always talk about it clearly. What happened in New York was the promoter did not make his deal with the venue. That was one of the bigger issues, other than the fact that one guy came down to picket the venue. Because the picketing of the venue was of no significance because there was nobody there.
Apart from one person.
Apart from one person, and the person was a political figure who is of that lifestyle, and so he wanted to gain mileage from it. I don't think it worked, you know, really the way he wanted to. But the thing with the venue is that on the day of the show, the promoter did not make advance payments to the venue. So the venue promoter was telling us that his hands were tied, that he would have no problem to defend this show because he has kept gay shows, straight shows, all different type of shows are kept in Amazon. So it would not have been a problem to defend an event.
Exactly, that you were built on.
But the promoter wasn't forthcoming. So that was what really...
That was the real essence of
what happened.
It just got caught up in... That's the thing. There's always a misunderstanding with these things.
And it is the power of what social media can do right now. If you are not grounded in your beliefs or you don't have a reason why you do stuff, because you then get caught up in the web and you get lost if you're not careful because of all the wrong information that goes out there. So what we have to do is to be savvy ourselves also, and to be on top of things, and to not necessarily to push back, but to stand up and to say that, you know, we belong and we also have a right to be here.
And talking about freedom of speech, everybody has a freedom of speech. How important is it? Some of us feel so pressured to not say things that we really believe. That's a reality. We go through life sometimes not saying the things that we want to say, and there are people like you and public figures that people depend on to voice other people's opinion. So how hard is that for you? Because you actually have a job in a way for a lot of people. Because when you speak on behalf of many people. So for you not to back down in your opinion, how does that must trouble you in your own life, you know?
What I simply sum it up to be is somewhat of the politicizing of the word freedom, you know, because if you look at all the wars that are taking place in the world, they are religious-based, political-based wars. They target the mass, the poor, the vulnerable. But what we have seen happen is a change around of what vulnerability really means today. You know, I could be vulnerable because I don't want tobacco smoke to be blowing my way, and so therefore I could pick it a club for allowing it, and it becomes a big blow up in a 2-minute frenzy, and then it goes away, and then the problem still exists. So what we don't have is a lot of catalysts who are willing to be selfless in their approach as to how they approach being public figures. All politicians hands are tied, they have affiliations, so if something is happening in Gaza, they can't freely speak on it because they are in bed with Israel, and if something happens in Israel, they can't speak on it because they are against there, and Russia is against over there. And so there's never the Dalai Lamas and the Gandhis, and these people are becoming the Mandelas. It would almost seem like Mandela the other day was the end of democracy in the true sense of the word, because he died. So there goes any semblance of freedom fighting. We have buried the last of them, you know. And so there's not enough encouragement of spirits like the Mandelas, the Marcus Garveys, who are about freedom in the true sense of what it is supposed to be. Until we go back to that sense of how we talk about freedom and how we go about getting freedom, it's always going to appear to be segregated and self-centered, and you know, and it doesn't help when it is done in that form.
How do you keep yourself away from, I mean, you said the right words, you know, people are in bed with other people.
Yes.
As someone who rises as a public figure, I'm sure there's been temptations on the way.
Yes.
And sometimes we see ghetto youths coming up as artists, and people, they're really repping for ghetto youth, and then something happens along the way, and they're not there for ghetto youth anymore.
Yes.
How you can't speak for other people, but how can you speak? How do you stay away from getting in bed with people?
I stay away from it because I choose to be selfless in how I deal with music. It's never about me wanting to be in the spotlight or to be seen or my words to be law, but I want to make sure that when I do a song or I say something in the public space, it is something that is uttered in the household of our country, in the communities where people are really affected by these issues. A lot of times you find that when you, as a public figure, whether in entertainment or any other aspect of society, try to speak on behalf of the mass, you then become an enemy of the state, because what is really needed of you is to be willing to promote a particular type of lifestyle that leads young people, especially, down a path of promiscuity and lewd behaviors and stuff like that. You notice that it's not very hard to look around and see that is glorified in our society. So how I stay grounded is I always use myself as, not from a religious point of view, but from a realistic point of view, to say I would want to represent somewhat of what a church is supposed to represent. So after all the partying is done and the frolicking is over, there has to be that place where you go to have solace with your God and to have that reality check with self now, to say, okay, all right, I've done all of this, and so where am I now and what am I about? So I always want to be one of the catalysts for that change and that behavior.
And you have been, and I hope that you never stop.
I try my best. I try.
On that note, really excited to see you at Rebel Salute. This year is going to be exciting, and those who aren't going to be able to come to Jamaica are actually going to be able to view it online.
Yes, and you know, it is the beauty of growth, because this idea started out with Tony Rebel wanting to do something special for his birthday, and so the idea was born in a thought, and then it became action, and 22 years later you can now stream online. You know, it's really something that is worth congratulations. You know.
And yes, and congratulations for being on the team.
Yes, you know, it's a pleasure to be on the team. I've grown on this team over the years, and a lot that I know now in music is being an account of being around in this very yard that we're standing right now. This very yard means very much to me in terms of my personal growth and development in music. Yes.
You have some YouTube things or something you can let us know?
I have to draw from a paper now. So Rebel Salute, we have a YouTube channel, and that's Rebel Salute channel. So you type Rebel Salute in. Twitter at Rebel Salute, Facebook Rebel Salute Jamaica, and our website is www.rebelsalutejamaica.com. You can go there for all information that you need on how to get here, who's on the show, and of course, you know, we never fail, we never cease to deliver something really nice for the fans that come out year to year, you know, the saluters as we call it here.